Entering SimRacing Expo, you will walk by this booth. ASETEK is displaying an LMP3 car, and it belongs actually to the son of the CEO who's driving in motorsports, and we will hear the story behind it. But ASETEK not only has the biggest appearance, they also had a skyrocket start to SimRacing. Let's hear from the CEO on how it went and what the plan is for us sim racers. If you like what you see, please consider dropping a like for this video or a subscription to my channel. It would make the day for me. Thank you, and let's go! Okay, thank you for having me here on the ASETEK stand. I was having a look and I found this guy, and I would like to introduce you to the community, because I think what I have at least heard is worth to tell a story. How did you started the ASETEK company in terms of getting into sim racing? Because what you did, and this is for sure something all of the community members out there will notice, you did a rocket start from zero to the upper levels. Yeah, and everyone is asking, how are they doing that? Yeah? And there is a story behind it, I guess, and maybe you can share with your own words, how did you start it and what was your intention to do this kind of business?
Yeah, so I'm the founder of ASETEK in general, a little bit more than 20 years ago, in '97 to be precise. And we have been in the gaming industry always, doing liquid cooling for computers and gaming, and that's really what we make a living out of. And then we have been searching in many places, in many areas, where should we go next as a company. And what we are good at ASETEK is doing complex stuff, so mechatronics, hardware, software, mechanics integrated. Whereas doing simple stuff at a low cost, that's not really us. So we had a hard time figuring out what should we actually spend our resources on next, because obviously we would like to grow and be other things than just liquid cooling. And then I have a son that's racing. I've been racing for many years myself also. And I built, I think, my first simulator back in 2007. And then I've been building a simulator for my son. Not really for sim racing, but for simulating real race car tracks. You know, a test day. So you have probably seen the LMP3 car we have over here. A test day in an LMP3 car is 20,000 euros. And although I work for a sizable company, unlike what many people believe, I can unfortunately not just take ASETEK money and put into my son. So we are trying to get money through all kind of sponsors and business networks. But as we don't have the same budgets as many others, then simulation has been a big part. So for example, he did a race in Bahrain, he did a race in India, and we couldn't afford just go testing. So we really used, I had the tracks scanned and made for ASETEK. So we really used the tracks for him to get better, so when he get on track, he's already prepared. So the last simulator I built for him a few years back was based on actually Daniel Kvyat's Formula Renault chassis, the real chassis. So I built that simulator, and what I learned from building that was that this was a very immature market. You know, there was driver problems, there was software problems, all kind of mechanical issues, and but I just learned to accept that's how it is, and you needed to be a PC expert to make it run. So we are now 5 years back or something like that. And then probably 2-3 years back, we made at ASETEK something we call the ASETEK Esports Academy. And that is for young people in the region, so north of Denmark, who perhaps do not have the money to do really or to buy really expensive gaming equipment. So we had, or we have, I think, 15 PCs from Alienware, one of our big OEM customers. So our liquid cooling inside. So we decided to do this so people could come and practice Counter-Strike, and we had a coach, so people who could actually come and train and use our facilities. But as a racer myself, I was like, okay, let's do some real gaming also. So we bought 5 rigs. I don't want to go into the details of whom we bought them from, but what we learned was exactly the experience I had before. software issues, hardware issues, things would break down, things would not work. And that's really when I got the idea and said, you know, we know a lot about racing. We are active racers. I raced myself. And there was another issue. I found it hard to find equipment that actually simulated a real race car. When you're in a simulator, what's fast in sim racing may be different from how a car feels. But for our purpose, we wanted to simulate cars the best we could. So then I got the idea of, why don't we try to do this ourselves? I think with the skill set my employees have at ASETEK and with my own knowledge, I thought we could do it better, or at least different. So that's what we decided to do, and now we're here at the Sim Expo. If you were at the Sim Expo last year at the Nürburgring, we brought our first ever Invicta pedals, and we had a small corner with our friends from Phoenix Racing, and then we were displaying these pedals. So 12 months later, now you can have a look around and see what happened. So it has been quite fast.
It's fascinating. So it's for one thing, it's a story to tell, because it's one of a kind that you supported your son, of course, doing business.
Yeah.
But with the passion you had to make it exact the same look and feel, because a lot of people, they know motorsport is costly,
yeah,
and a normal guy like us behind the camera, they can't afford to race. But sim racing brings us closer, and
yes, for sure,
you are closing the gap for the immersion.
Yes.
And therefore, thank you in the name of the community that you took the time to share your story about ASETEK.
Absolutely.
And we are looking, of course, to future developments and see where it will end. So we keep an eye on. Thank you very much, and enjoy the trade fair.
Thanks for dropping by.
Thank you. I think it's always interesting to hear the story behind it. And as you can see, ASETEK is having one of the biggest booths at the SimRacing Expo, a lot of rigs where you can test the equipment, and they are, of course, if we take a closer look, one of the few vendors that are offering the complete package. That means you can get wheelbases from them, pedals, wheels, all is available, and they have 3 lineups. Invicta is their top line, Forte is their, let's say, medium line, and La Prima is the entry-level line. So it's all, something is in for everyone. The entry-level line does not mean that it's just cheap stuff, but it's, yeah, compromising here and there. And if you compare it to the full-blown stuff, you will see even technology differentiations in terms of brake pedals using hydraulics and so on and so on. So this is, I guess, important to see, and you can pre-order those kind of products on the ASETEK website right now. And you see, of course, they are offering a lot of bundles, also sim racing apparel, and as I said, the Invicta line is the most advanced product line they are offering. And what we heard in the interview with the braking, simulating the race car, this was exactly paving the way to this product. Also, you see here the Pagani pedals that are looking a bit different than the others. And you can test all the products and all the product lines directly at the booth. So you have the chance to compare between those kind of elements. And on Thursday, actually, the booth was quite crowded, and there was a lot of things going on compared to the other booths at the SimRacing Expo. As you can see here, you do have the chance to touch the products and to have a look at them in detail. Here you see the hydraulic elements for the Invicta pedals. But they are not stopping there. They are also offering handbrakes for sim racing if you are more into rally car driving and stuff like that. This is also worth to mention. Despite ASETEK is offering the full variety of all the elements for sim racing, they are not closed down to their own ecosystem, but you can use your existing wheels and rims from other manufacturers, and I think this is a good approach to attract customers. So, I hope you have liked what you saw on the little video here. Have fun and thanks. Bye.